To the chosen soul receiving this message today, listen closely. You are fundamentally different from who you were yesterday. An internal process of dissolution, breaking, and reformation is underway. This occurrence is not accidental. The profound energetic change caused by Mercury starting December 11th, a cosmic readjustment, is extracting you from your prior identity and revealing the path toward a higher, more evolved, and fully awakened iteration of yourself. This transformation won't happen gently. Your feelings might range from detachment or emotional turmoil to restlessness, newfound awareness, or unusual tranquility. Remain focused until the end, because the metamorphosis starting now is far greater than you anticipate. The former you is dissolving. Your genuine future is ascending. Furthermore, the universe is preparing you for something truly exceptional. We commence the discussion of the December 11th Mercury shift, the catalyst for spiritual awakening. The planetary movement of Mercury on December 11th transcends a mere sign change. Instead, it alters the energetic climate surrounding your essence. Rather than a typical astrological transit, this constitutes an energetic break, a moment when the cosmos approaches you intimately, reconstructing the vibrational pattern of your consciousness, inner being, and self-perception. For those identified as the chosen, this date possesses a unique feel. It places pressure on your core pulls at your inner knowing and guides you toward an unrealized future self. You might perceive yourself as straddling two separate realities, the individual you once were and the one you are on the verge of becoming. This Mercury movement functions as a spiritual illumination. It triggers aspects of your awareness that may have been inactive for months, perhaps years. Instantly, your thinking gains clarity. Your perceptions become acute. Your understanding widens. Previously ignored matters become impossible to overlook. Routes you previously endured now seem restrictive. Dialogues you once participated in no longer match the frequency you are ascending to. You might look around today and sense a discrepancy, not negative, but rather like the universe adjusting the setting of your existence. Hues appear more vibrant. Quiet moments feel more meaningful. Even the synchronicity of events feels divinely directed. This is Mercury, updating the foundational design of your fate, readying your spirit for a deep renewal. The selected souls perceive this transition immediately as their energy already resonates with elevated dimensions. They are highly attuned to cosmic forces, intuitive shifts, and unseen actions. They experience the internal disturbance long before the world notices the consequence. Therefore, December 11th feels like a clash between constraint and liberation. The constraint stems from what is being discarded. The liberation is sourced from the person you are evolving into. Over recent days, you may have detected an unusual fatigue, unrelated to physical exertion, spontaneous emotional shedding without clear reason. A profound desire for quiet time, introspection, or privacy. A compulsion to withdraw from distractions and the gentle murmur of your intuition, intensifying. These are not merely mood fluctuations. They signify spiritual adjustment. They indicate that Mercury is weakening the hold of your former identity. You might feel disconnected from your past self. The person who accepted unpleasant situations, remained silent when speech was needed, or accepted mediocrity due to a lack of self-worth recognition. That specific identity is fading. This occurs not because something is flawed, but because a superior existence is commencing. As this Mercury transition activates, your internal landscape becomes the primary stage for change. Unexpected surges of emotion might occur. But grasp this concept clearly. You are releasing, not shattering. You are reorganizing, not becoming bewildered. You are regaining true balance, not forfeiting governance. Prior anxieties diminish. Lingering hurts begin to dissipate. Former identities feel like garments you have outgrown. The cosmos is purifying your interior space to accommodate enhanced clarity, self-assurance, and direction. You might suddenly revisit past experiences with a revised understanding. You could feel grateful for occurrences that once caused pain. You might even experience a separation from individuals or surroundings that previously dictated your reality. This indicates Mercury is revealing what is not intended to proceed with you into the next phase. Consider December 11th, the moment the barrier disappears. The point when the obscurity lifts, the exact instant your life's trajectory modifies itself live. You start to comprehend the reasons for specific relationship conclusions, why certain chances were delayed, why particular avenues closed before you felt prepared, and why your instinct persistently urged you toward a new course. Everything that departed was clearing room for everything you are presently prepared to embrace. This Mercury transit acts as a spiritual beacon, spotlighting your forthcoming evolution. It emphasizes what harmonizes with your essence and reveals what no longer resonates. For the chosen, this movement is the universe declaring, "You have completed this stage. It is time to ascend." The recurring patterns in your life, the emotional repetitions, the self-mistrust, the fatigue, the spiritual weight cannot exist at this vibration level. You are being enhanced, not disciplined. Consequently, from this time forward, nothing will maintain its prior familiarity. December 11th signifies the initiation of a fundamental internal restructuring, a spiritual crossroads where mental clarity sharpens the heart, gains resilience, and the soul advances with undeniable intention. Your former identity is losing its influence. Your emerging self is initiating its existence, and the cosmos will direct every subsequent move. Indicators: your prior identity is receding as your awakened self surfaces. When Mercury commences its transition on December 11th, the shift affects the vibration of your soul, not only your thought processes. This is why the overhaul of your old identity doesn't manifest loudly. It feels like inherent truth, softly surfacing, illuminating your metamorphosis and the baggage you are shedding. Your previous identity doesn't vanish instantaneously. It dissipates gradually through breakthroughs, sudden understanding, emotional shedding, and energetic changes that are palpable but often hard to articulate. If you have been perceiving this deep internal modification, the cosmos has been preparing you for renewal. Here are the spiritual signals that your former self is fading. 1. Separation from your previous defining elements. You might notice that specific customs, individuals, cycles, or settings that once provided comfort now feel cumbersome, depleting, or simply archaic. This isn't a loss of concern. It means you are expanding beyond the frequency you previously inhabited. You no longer gravitate towards superficial conversations, connections that inhibit progress, or responsibilities that confine your capacity. Your spiritual essence detects dissonance before your intellect does. This separation represents ascent, not emotional distance. 2. Prioritizing inner knowing above rational thought. Each time the Mercury shift hones your internal sensing mechanism, you start perceiving the reality of situations before concrete proof emerges. You discern the motive behind others' statements, the vitality within opportunities, and the trajectory you are being guided toward. Your rational mind may still seek answers, but your intuition provides a louder voice with serene, unwavering conviction. This signifies your elevated consciousness taking command. You are now traversing life, guided by certainty, not apprehension. A peaceful sense of emotional void. You might observe an unusual quietness in your feelings, not indifference or sorrow, but a calm, internal blankness. This is the purification of your spirit. Your system is releasing historic emotional burdens, outdated ties, and recollections that no longer benefit your future. This vacuum is room for focused thought, room for authenticity, room for your evolving self to become established. The cosmos invariably clears you out before lifting you up. 4. Altered sleep patterns, intense dreaming, or bursts of energy late at night. Your deeper mind is undergoing rearrangement. Your nightly visions become more vibrant. Your sleep might become less dense. Alternatively, you may awaken during the spiritual window between 2 and 5 a.m. When the energetic barrier is weakest, you might dream about unfamiliar locations, individuals you haven't encountered, or symbolic imagery that provides direction. These are not chance occurrences, they are communications from the new timeline you are stepping onto. An intense conviction that a major event is imminent. Your soul is aware, your spirit recognizes it. You can sense that a transformation, a significant advancement, a new opening, or a key moment is drawing near. This internal expectation is not dread. It is harmonious synchronization. It is the energetic indication that your existence is about to progress. You are not imagining this. Your destiny is already summoning you. 6. Scrutinizing the identity you once held. Suddenly, you view your former self from an objective distance. You ponder, why did I allow that behavior? Why was I afraid to prioritize myself? Why did I accept less when my soul desired more? Why did I suppress my inner voice for so long? This self-inquiry represents enlightenment, not condemnation. You are observing the difference between who you were and who you are intended to be. Chosen individuals must always experience the disintegration of identity before the rise of a new self. You are not undergoing self-loss. You are finding yourself anew. 7. Experiencing an attraction towards something greater. You may not know the specifics or the destination yet. An inner conviction murmurs, proceed. Do not stop. There is more awaiting you. This magnetism is your future self, calling you onward, leading you toward an existence you have never fully encountered, yet one your essence recalls. You are embracing your divine assignment, even if its exact manifestation is currently vague. Tranquility emerging amidst turbulence. This is among the most potent indicators. Even if your external circumstances seem unstable, an internal core feels secure, stable, and safeguarded. You are placing confidence in the mystery rather than succumbing to fear. This calmness originates from spiritual equilibrium. It stems from releasing the past and embracing the future. You instinctively know that anything dissolving is meant to depart, and anything ascending is meant to surface. Your former identity is not dissolving due to failure. Your former identity is disappearing because you have exceeded its boundaries. The core reality the universe wishes you to grasp is that your metamorphosis is predetermined, not accidental. Your feelings are not malfunctions. Your sense of separation is not an error. Your ambiguity is not defeat. This process is renewal. The previous identity that compelled you to limit yourself, question your abilities, and shrink from your power. It cannot survive within the vibrational plane you are shifting toward. On December 11th, the cosmos affirms a spiritual reality. You must acknowledge, you are no longer the person you were previously. An updated version of you is materializing. Allow the past to recede. And once this new iteration of yourself steps forward, the narrative of your life will be entirely redefined. The characteristics of your emerging self. following the December 11th Mercury transition. As the former vibration dissipates and the energetic residue begins to settle, an exceptional quality surfaces within you. This is not a slight alteration in personality or a fleeting emotional current. This marks the resurrection of identity, the emergence of a more elevated, conscious self. This new identity is not defined by your traumas, disappointments, or anxieties. It is defined by your insight, fortitude, and the authentic being you were always destined to be. The Mercury shift on December 11th activates the aspect of you that was concealed beneath self-preservation mechanisms, outdated convictions, and prior iterations of your history. Here is an overview of the characteristics of the elevated you as this cosmic restructuring fully takes hold. 1. You arrive at conclusions swiftly free from self-doubt. The previous version of you scrutinized every action, second-guessed its inner voice, and paused due to external pressure or apprehension. Conversely, this updated self places faith in itself. Mercury eliminates mental obscurity, synchronizing your internal guidance system unlike anything you have experienced before. You begin to recognize your initial gut feeling as genuine, and you act upon it effortlessly. Choices that once seemed daunting now appear straightforward, apparent, and harmonious. This indicates your intuition speaking more powerfully than fear, and for the first time, you perceive it distinctly. 2. You cease justifying your actions to individuals who lack comprehension. The emerging you prioritizes internal vitality over external endorsement, time management over affirmation, and serenity over articulation. You simply proceed, subtly, elegantly, and purposefully. This stands as one of the clearest indications of renewal. You stop soliciting approval for your existence. You start moving with a self-assurance that requires no commendation. 3. You establish limits easily, without feelings of remorse. In your past identity, setting boundaries felt threatening. You worried about disappointing others, avoided confrontation, or felt that declining requests made you troublesome. However, as the Mercury transition activates your new persona, you stop compromising your own needs to maintain the comfort of others. You implement boundaries with precision, devoid of hostility. You safeguard your energy without making excuses. You finally grasp that preserving your tranquility is an act of dignity, not selfishness. This signifies your spiritual maturation, the instant you choose your soul's well-being over outdated tendencies. 4. Your outlook for the future becomes more distinct and expansive. Prior to this transformation, your aspirations might have been constrained by fear, previous lessons, or limited faith in yourself. Yet the awakened you perceives possibilities beyond your experience. Your scope broadens. Opportunities proliferate. Your conviction in your destiny intensifies. You no longer conceptualize your dreams based on past harms. You dream from the vantage point of your inherent potential. Suddenly, you feel drawn toward objectives that once seemed unattainable. You identify chances where you previously saw barriers. The future no longer generates anxiety. It motivates you. 5. Your emotional state lightens. Forgiving becomes natural. The emerging you is unburdened by past narratives, past betrayals, or sustained suffering. You begin to understand that clinging to emotional weight only impedes your progression. You release without compulsion. You pardon without revisiting the injury. You detach without diminishing yourself. This emotional buoyancy reflects resilience, not innocence. It stems from the realization that every injury offered instruction, and every conclusion guided you toward this current self. You start to navigate the world with increased elegance, forbearance, and empathy toward yourself and others. You cease the pursuit of individuals' affection, openings, or affirmation. Your vital essence turns magnetic because it is grounded in authenticity, self-value, and internal clarity. That which is intended for you begins to locate you. Others perceive your change. Good fortune moves toward you. Opportunities match your vibration. You are operating from alignment, not desperation. And the universe responds to harmony, not anxiety. 7. You experience a link to a greater structure. This connection relates to synchronization, not doctrine. You feel integrated with the cosmos in a manner that is innate, potent, and undeniable. You observe meaningful coincidences. You receive spiritual prompts. You decipher signals rapidly. Your inner guidance communicates precisely. You feel directed, not speculating, not wishing, but actively guided. This is the bond your soul has longed for. The new you is not solitary. You move with resolve, safeguarding, and cosmic backing. You transcend fear. This happens not because fear vanishes, but because it loses control. Anxiety quietens. Your bravery amplifies. The emerging version of you does not wait for fear to subside. You advance, irrespective of it. Your deeds are fueled by conviction, goal, and faith, rather than worry or self-mistrust. You stop minimizing your presence. You stop holding reserves. You stop obscuring your potential to conform to prior settings. This represents empowerment at the core level. The instant you choose your designated future over your present security, the true transformation begins. This characterizes the transformation initiated by Mercury, a shift in self-concept that harmonizes you with the life that your soul was designed for, rather than the life accepted by your past struggles. You are entering a version of yourself that is more insightful, resilient, gentle, courageous, and synchronized with your purpose. Your renewed self has arrived. Your new route is materializing. Your next phase is commencing. The universe now readies you for the ultimate phase of your metamorphosis. Strategies for complete synchronization with this emerging self. The mandate from the universe for you today. The metamorphosis starting December 11th is not a passive event. It is not merely something that occurs to you. It is a process that activates internally. The cosmos has revealed an opening. However, your progression demands engagement. You must enter this new frequency with awareness, purpose, and a spirit prepared to rise. To achieve full alignment with this updated version of yourself, the universe requests that you perform 4 vital spiritual activities today. These steps may seem elementary, but their energetic impact is enormous. Each one modifies your frequency, establishes your new path, and reinforces the identity you are adopting after the Mercury shift. Let us commence. 1. Let go of a single identity you have surpassed. Every spiritual renewal mandates an act of release. Not a sudden cleanse, but a gentle decoupling from the person you have ceased to be. Your former self was constructed by self-preservation, anxiety-imposed behaviors, early life patterns, societal expectations, and unhealed trauma. Yet your new self is being built upon authenticity, mindfulness, and elevated congruence. Consequently, a portion of your past identity must fall away today. Select just one identity to liberate. It might be a conviction regarding your capabilities, a quiet anxiety that has been dictating your choices, a designation others gave you that never truly fit, a function you maintained out of duty rather than genuine expression, a restriction that once felt real but now seems confining. Release it with defined clarity without coercion or shame. Say silently or aloud, "I am no longer this." When you intentionally relinquish even one facet of identity, your entire energetic composition begins to reorganize. The internal defenses weaken. The old conditioning dissipates. You generate openness, and transformation takes place in that openness. You cannot ascend while clinging to elements of yourself that are not destined for elevation. The act of surrendering is the initial action toward becoming. 2. Act upon a single intuitive impulse. Today, your inner guidance system serves as the communication method of your higher self. It offers counsel before external signs manifest. It steers you toward the destiny your soul is already embracing. The universe will send you at least one inner prompt today. This may present as a sudden memory of a name, an inclination to connect with someone, a passion project you feel urged to begin, a routine you feel compelled to stop, or a choice that feels undeniably right, even if logic fails. Avoid dissecting it. Do not analyze it excessively. Do not dismiss it as coincidence. Your intuition represents your future self, communicating with you. Taking even a single action based on intuition firmly establishes the new timeline Mercury has activated. It conveys to the cosmos, I am prepared, I am aligned, I am listening. This singular action, regardless of its scale, is sufficient to alter the trajectory of your entire journey. The new you does not wait for complete certainty. You act based on internal conviction. 3. Allocate 5 minutes to absolute quietude. Stillness is not emptiness. It is a means of connection. It is the realm where your soul shares knowledge inaccessible to the mind. Today, grant yourself at least 5 minutes of genuine, undisturbed quiet. Close your eyes. Place one hand over your chest. Breathe intentionally and slowly. Sense your energy stabilizing. Feel the integration of the new timeline into your nervous system. Sense the prior identity gracefully yielding without opposition. In silence, your clarity improves. Your next necessary actions become apparent. Your vitality finds equilibrium. Your spirit adjusts. Your new persona takes root within your being. Stillness finalizes the process of change. Silence offers the soul room for emergence. Silence is the birthplace of the new you. Treat this as a sacred moment. Make it a rite of awakening. 4. Declare your evolving identity aloud. Language possesses magical power. Words initiate timelines. They indicate to the universe the person you are choosing to manifest. Use affirmations such as, I am ascending, I am changing, I embrace my updated trajectory, I welcome my elevated self, I select synchronization over dread, I am prepared for my renewed existence. State these not as wishes, but as settled realities. Your voice conveys vibration, and when you speak with sincerity, you energetically draw your future nearer to your present reality. This straightforward act of pronouncement is one of the most potent spiritual instruments available to you. By vocalizing your new identity, you initiate your new fate. The conclusive message from the cosmos. December 11th is more than a typical date. It transcends mere astrology. It is not solely an energetic fluctuation. It is a cosmic moment of assessment. It is the instant the universe steps forward and states the previous version of you fulfilled its role. It is time for the new you to ascend. You are undergoing reconstruction, not disintegration. Refinement, not correction. Elevation, not suffocation. Everything you have experienced, everything you have doubted, everything you have released, it has all served to prepare you for this precise metamorphosis, and what follows a phase demanding your most capable, most focused, most awakened self. The emerging you is essential for fate, and your destiny is summoning you forward. Today, chosen soul, pause and inhale deeply, because whether or not you recognize it, the transition has already initiated within you. December 11th is not simply a calendar entry. It is an entrance, a spiritual juncture, a point engraved in your ultimate path long before your arrival in this lifetime. The cosmos is systematically reordering the components of your existence. It is eliminating elements that cannot support your forthcoming stage and reinforcing the attributes within you that will propel you toward your future. The former self, the iteration defined by old anxieties, old hurts, and old narratives, is silently receding into the background. This is not a failure, but a mission completed. You exceeded those constraints. You overcame the uncertainties. You outgrew the cycles that once confined you. And now, an elevated version of you is materializing. A version that trusts, that perceives, that knows. This next period of your existence will be directed by intuition, not apprehension. It will be guided by precision, not confusion. It will be fueled by purpose, not simply survival. You are entering a time where your spirit will resonate louder than your history, where your internal guidance becomes unquestionable, and where the path ahead illuminates incrementally. Indeed, this transformation may feel powerful. Yes, it might feel alien, yet sacred processes seldom feel comfortable initially. The universe is not taking anything from you. It is making space, room for the rewards that correspond to your new frequency, room for relationships that honor your essence, room for opportunities that align with your fate, room for the life that has awaited your rise. Therefore, as you proceed, hold this conviction close. You are not collapsing. You are not losing your way. You are not floating aimlessly into the unknown. You are becoming the entity you were always meant to be, becoming the version of yourself that your soul recollects, becoming the individual your future demands. A new chapter is shaping itself around you. The appropriate individuals are being led to you. The correct avenues are opening. The proper path is unfolding. And your future self is already celebrating the moment you finally achieved synchronization. Chosen soul, if this message resonated with you, if it stirred something within, affirm it purposefully in the comments. I am ready for my rebirth, because subsequent to today, your narrative does not merely continue, it changes form. Your new life starts now.